Okay, petrograde. I'm just making sure I understand. Oh, yeah, I do think I understand this office page correctly. And is this your first? Is this the first SCP of yours? Yeah, it's no, it's not. The first one we have from yours is 2177. 2177. Ah, yes, it was a yellow page book. I'm pretty sure it was about like how like it like affects history, if I recall correctly. I might be not recalling correctly because I was a little bit confused when I read it originally. But now, petrograde, we have there's no hunger in the lee of the stone. Okay, interesting title. Euclid. Biosite 34. Satellite Annex 5 has been constructed around SB 2438. The facility has been constructed as an independent BSL-2 compliant campus. Researchers assigned to SB 2438 must eat in the annex cafeteria to enable caloric monitoring. Personnel must not remain in SB 2438 for more than 6 consecutive hours at any time. SB 2438 personnel must attend regular counseling sessions, and researchers who display impaired judgment are to be transferred to other projects. Additionally, personnel may voluntarily transfer at any time. Personnel transferring away from SB 2438 are to be confined to Biosite 34 Medical Wing for a minimum of 14 days for observation and withdrawal treatment. Per directives of the Ethics Committee, SB 2438 personnel will have preferential assignment to sites with addiction support groups for the remainder of their employment. Personnel are to be made fully aware of these procedures before accepting assignment to SB 2438. SB 2438's original stone marker. Gotcha. By the way, I'm annoyed with myself because I hate the fact that I am now wide awake again, and I was like so tired with the 2 SCPs ago where I just because like I'm annoyed with myself because I want to be fair to reading these things and actually react and understand. Because again, somebody wrote this, somebody put creativity behind it. I don't want the SCP that they wrote me to be like and then finish reading and be like, I don't know what the hell, you know what I mean? It just seems rude. So I'm annoyed with myself that now I'm awake again. I can actually absorb information and read normally. It bothers me so much. SB 2438 is an immobile, roughly cylindrical area 5 meters in height and 6 meters in diameter located in rural Cumbria, UK. Any living being possessing an open digestive system that enters SB 2438 will spontaneously develop an infection of a protozoan intestinal parasite designated -1. Digestive system body plan that features a body cavity between an entry orifice and an exit orifice. So the mouth and okay. Okay, I get it. So that's considered an open digestive. Okay. That is designated -1. -1 cells will survive and reproduce while the host remains within SB 2438, but the parasite will die and rapidly decompose as soon as the host exits the anomaly. To date, all attempts to remove living or inert samples of -1 from SB 2438 have failed. As such, all research on -1 must be conducted within SB 2438. Hosts of -1 infection display anomalous efficiency at deriving chemical energy from food, deriving more energy than is chemically feasible. Humans within SB 2438 can survive on less than 200 calories per day. Kilocalories. Is that kilocalories per day? Footnote. About 10% of typical adult diet. Is that supposed to be kilocalories? Yeah, it's kilocalorie. Okay. It's a variation of kilocalorie, unit of energy used to measure the amount of heat needed to raise the temperature of water. So how many calories are in the kilo? 1 kilo is equal to 1. Yeah, so. But that's 200 kilo. If 2 is 2000, 20 is that's 200,000 calories. Humans within can survive one less than about of a typical adult diet. Wait. How many calories are in a kilocalorie? 1 kilocalorie is equal to 1,000 calories. 1 kilocalorie equals an average man needs. Oh, okay, never mind. We're good. An average man needs 2,500 kilocalories per day, and a woman needs 2,000. Interesting. Okay, I misunderstood everything here. Let's go on. In addition, consuming food before entering on while in SCP-2438 leads to intense energetic feelings with an effect proportional to the amount of calories consumed and the time since ingestion. Consuming a snack or sweetened beverage, 200 to 250 kilocalories, is sufficient to induce intense euphoria, heightened self-confidence, irritability, and paranoia. Consuming a full meal, 400 to 500 kilocalories, can lead to respiratory failure, cerebral hemorrhages, or death. Okay, so you should need to have the least amount of calorie meal or food or snack inside there as possible. These effects rapidly fade as anomalous digestion reaches completion of the host leaves 2438's boundary. As a result, exposed personnel are highly likely to display addictive behavior towards SCP-2438 and may suffer withdrawal when removed. SCP-2438 was originally marked with a 3-meter menhir or standing stone monument, which was later determined to be a non-anomalous. The stone bore markings associated with various Celtic half-deities dating back to 200 BCE. Although many of these had later been vandalized and replaced with Celtic Christian imagery of loaves and fishes. That's why this one, eh? Selected SB 2438/2438-1 research document. Continue exposure studies trial 1. Start date 1st 27th 1998. Subjects 20 Ratus novicus, which we know is Norway. Oh, I did not know it was Norway rat. I just Foundation R21B strain. 30 Mesocristetus auratus. Syrian hamster. Okay, Foundation M12 strain. Procedures. So the rats and the hamster are to be contained in individual self-cleaning cages with air-gapped feeding systems. Examination and dissection equipment will be rotated into SCP-2438 as needed. So it's trial boiled at day 12 by this point. 13 rats and 24 hamsters had expired from cardiac disorder or hemorrhages with onset highly correlated with feeding times. It's believed that these deaths were related to accidental overfeeding. Yeah, that might be it yet. Continue exposure studies trial 2. Start date 1st 27th 1998. Research note: in addition to long-term exposure trials, human trials were deemed essential in order to investigate cognitive effects and to guard the safety of exposure for personnel. Given the urgency of both objectives and the desire to maximize use of the limited research space, trial 1 and 2 were implemented concurrently. So we have subjects are 3 Homo sapiens, D7, D14, D7 male, age 21, 80 kilograms, D14 male, age 50, 68 kilograms, and D15 female, age 25, 59 kilograms. Procedure: D-class subjects also are to be shackled to a structural post to prevent them from leaving SCP-2438. Medical equipment, furniture/bedding, exercise equipment, and physiological monitoring devices are to be rotated into the area of effect as necessary. Autopsy within SCP-2438 may be conducted at the discretion of the lead researcher. Results: Day 3. Feeding with rations was placed with an intravenous time-locked dextrose solution due to the increasingly aggressive and erratic behavior in the subject. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. 3 days trapped in one room. Day 6, apparently believing it has caloric value, D15 consumed 1.8 liter of USP, 95% pure ethanol, which had been left unattended on the lab bed. How did that happen? D15 immediately showed signs of extreme distress as well as symptoms of severe alcohol poisoning. Yeah, of course. After a decision by the lead researcher that nothing useful about that -1 could be learned from the incident, the subject was removed from SCP-2438 area of effect and taken to the medical wing for emergency treatment. Subject is not expected to recover. Yeah, after that shocking ethanol, I imagine it's going to be a little bit difficult to recover. Day 12, during a rotation of security personnel, D7 and D14 overpowered their guards, entered the animal trial area and killed the remaining rats and hamsters. D14 was successfully restrained, but D7 consumed 4 animal carcasses and subsequently expired from acute myocardial infarction. Continued exposure trials with humans have been discontinued indefinitely. Note, during months of post-exposure observation, D14 developed persistent gastrointestinal and neurological symptoms typical of hereditary mitochondrial disease, despite not having any family history of this disorder. Mitochondria are organelles or cell components typically responsible for converting oxygen and nutrients into chemical energy. So, if you do survive this and get out of it, you still get impacted. It will leave a little goodbye gift. Level 4 clearance required to continue. Please enter credentials. You do not have permission to external override detector from leader MTF E7 clearance for lapinate granted accessing documents. Oh boy, okay. Continue exposure studies trial 147. Start date 9/14/2013. Subject 40 times COX-15 inhibitor knockout rabbits. Procedural specimens were selected due to the congenital mitochondrial damage created by inhibiting the COX-15 gene. Specimens are to be contained in self-cleaning cages with automated feed systems displaying 10 of kilocalories of nutrients per day per kilogram of body weight. Oculus typically requires 108 kilocalories per day per kilogram. Okay, one specimen is to be selected at random, euthanized, and dissected within SCP-2438 every 10 days. Results. Day 1. Unlike all past trials, specimens do not display agitation or other unusual symptoms when fed. Day 10. Dissected specimen, male, 2.1 kilograms. Specimen displayed no unusual strain of the circulatory or respiratory systems. No sign of malnutrition. Day 20. Dissected specimen, female, 1.7 kilograms. Specimen's blood displayed a high platelet count, resulting in minor bruising and internal bleeding. Specimen also displayed extensive peptic ulcers, resulting in blood entering the digestive system around -1. Day 30. Dissected specimen, male, 2.5 kilograms. Specimen's digestive system has significantly atrophied, particularly the intestines and colon. Capillary networks have expanded throughout muscle tissue and into areas not normally served by the circulatory system, such as tendons and ligaments, potentially improving oxygen distribution and healing efficiency. Day 40. Dissected specimens, male, 1.8 kilograms. Dissection is becoming increasingly difficult due to the toughness of intervening muscle tissue. Specimen's digestive system has continued to atrophy and deteriorate. Its intestines have become nearly indistinguishable from its circulatory system, with food and liquids consumed directly entering the bloodstream. -1 seems to have transitioned from the parasitic to a fully symbiotic role, taking the place of platelets in addition to processing food into energy. The specimen's scent glands have enlarged significantly, and samples collected from remaining specimens exhibited a new phenomenon production as well as complex organic compounds of indeterminate purpose. Day 45, 47. Wait a minute. Oh, I forgot about the song. Okay. After a number of documentation errors and failed monthly employee drug screening, we discovered that specimens are capable of production airborne memory inhibiting compounds. We also suggest that the specimen produce these substances while enacting, orienting, and freezing behaviors, usually seen in orconioculus when avoiding predators. Researchers must now operate a full environmental gear. Day 49-1 is a sample of specimen's blood were found to be intact and alive several hours after leaving SB2438. No transplants using this sample were successful. Samples from other sources continue to degrade as normal. As precaution, Project Room 17 has been placed in full environmental lockdown. All non-automated interaction with specimens have been suspended pending further investigation. 05 Urgent Action Review, 11/5/2013. After deliberation of possible alternatives towards SCP-2438, Trial 147, the 05 Council reached the following decision by 9-3 vote. Okay, the majority voted for that. And one was indifferent, apparently. Incineration of all Trial 147 specimens denied. Cessation of SCP-2438 studies at Biosite 34, Annex 5 denied. Continuation of Trial 147 at current location denied.
Oh.
Relocation of Trial 147 specimen to highly adaptive life form HAL compliant facilities approved. Classification of Trial 147 specimens as SCP object pending. MTF's Epsilon 7 forget-me-nots and Beta 7 mass hatters have been dispatched to transfer the remaining specimens new studies at Spiro's site. 34 will commence as soon as Annex 5 has been upgraded to BSL 4 standards. Joining collaborative work document C network for FDocs share Labinet 2015 report V11.FC doc. Okay, here we have collaborators. We have Administrator Clark, Director Smith, Researcher Pretty, Unknown, and 10 others. Project Labinet overview. After producing self-replenishing population, breeding programs at facilities 1 to 3 have demonstrated an 80% reduction in the production cost of aerosolized amnestics compared with current synthetic means. With the completion of structures 4 through 29 as well as 3 additional pharmaceutical processing facilities, Project Labinet is on the track to increase the I just now see the background. Increase the foundation raw amnestic production by 200%. As an added benefit, the construction of advanced rendering plants could allow us to transition all Foundation vehicles to 40% animal biomass-based biofuel by 2020. Containment precautions. All Labinet facilities are rated for HAL compliance with an on-site analytic biologist and fast reaction containment teams. All personnel interacting with animals live assets operate in full environmental overpressure equipment and are regularly tested for exposure. In addition, the project's remote location and the inhospitable climate of the Orkney Island provide a natural measure of containment, severely reducing the probability of the egress of live Labinet asset. I don't think the dissenting O5s are going to buy that. Let's just scrap this one and start again tomorrow. And then we have, look, I don't know whose bright idea it was to breed these things on an industrial scale when there's only one nested cleared MTF in the entire Foundation. I would definitely like a few words with whoever decided it was acceptable to land planes and dock oil tankers near the facility. What I do know is that we're the only ones who can do the cleanup. If you're reading this, you put it in the proper search terms. You've probably got co-workers who really wish you shut up about the invisible rabbits. And most importantly, you've got some kind of natural or artificial resistance to amnestics. I fully appreciate that many if you aren't excited to talk about the ability, so we'll keep it nice and anonymous. Just drop a pin here whenever you see bunnies and I'll update my breakout vectors and browbeat the mass headers into doing a pickup. Cheers, Madeline. We were leader MTF that. Side 77's okay, Zona di Carico JS. There's a family living around the heating furnace inside 19, although they might be all female since they're not breeding. Alex. Side 76, a few hobbies around the incinerators, just me. We think there are a few hiding around side 85. Oh, is this? Okay, yeah. I assume it's just a side, right? Yeah, there we go. Let's lead to one of the other SCPs. And Georgia is also one. We want closer, man. It's hard to get close. They only come out when one gets the fire. Dash one gets the fire going. Got a few around our patrol routes in Georgia. Saw a couple in the bakery in the 3 Portland. The owner is a clay golem. Loves them to death. I wouldn't want to fight over it. Side 88 cafeteria. They got smushed. We're seeing burrows around area 179 as if the wildfires weren't enough. Got called in a family behaving erratically in Harlan, Kentucky. Found one of these in a snare and one more on the table. We got them quarantined, waiting for on test. Damn fat Bravo, and Side 403 is literally crawling with them. So how in the fuck did we go from something like, hey, don't overeat, because if you eat too much calories you will have some high impact on your life, to now bunnies going full on, I guess because I guess after like this many days they just had gained extra power. It sounds like that, at least. It sounds like that. So if you eat too many calories, you will suffer bigger consequences than just gaining weight. You might actually get paranoid or just die. For some reason, the bunnies in the test got the power of invisibility instead. Okay, let's get the last one done.